Hi team, by introductions, I'm Grant Houseman, the Director of Houseman Solutions and a premium partner for SoftExpert across Australia and New Zealand. I'm just going to give you an overview of the Enterprise Asset Management Solution, and hopefully it'll give you a sense of its power, and we can talk a little bit more. All right, so the first thing is you have the identification of your assets, a full enterprise asset management solution. And in here you can see your asset structure. So you can have a tree designed however you wish. And each asset you can see the key attributes for that asset type. So electric motors, for example, we have the attributes of the current, the frequency, the tension, and the efficiency. So tracking attributes, there's no limit to the attributes we can track, and they are all reportable, and therefore we can start to track assets that have low efficiency ratings and plan to phase them out as they exceed their warranty period. Cover that later on. So we can obviously create IDs in any format that you want. We have ID masks. There's a condition analysis of the asset. There's a responsible team. There's the location, the production line that it sits in or it's used in. And we have these attributes down here that we talked about earlier today. So we can create assets digitally, upload them using simple upload tools, and we can extract them from any existing asset management database. It probably needs some cleanup, of course, but then once we've got it cleaned up, it's relatively easy to migrate the data. And the attributes, because there's a good chance to change the way that we assign physical and non-physical attributes to our assets. We can identify assets, of course, by having a barcode tagging it, and we can track it through this tag, so we know we've got the right asset in the right place. And we've got structure here where we can say that this electric motor is made up of the frame, of the fan, of the rotor, so we have what's inside the asset, and we can manage the serial numbers that are installed effectively into that asset. We obviously have document management solution, ISO 9001 compliant, that is used by pharmaceutical companies globally, and any related documents like the terms and conditions or the extended warranty documents can be managed and associated with the asset. We can also have attributes against the document to find them. For example, extended warranty has an expiration date. We track expiration dates on all documents if we've configured it that way, and therefore we can get a notification on any warranties that are approaching their end date, effectively stopping us or preventing us from having stuff on inventory that are outside of warranty. Okay, we've got supplier warranty control, so we can, as I said earlier, we've got the actual warranty date, the date of purchase, the validity, and so on. This is all part of the document, the asset data as well. And we have performance management metrics that we can get either from reported data, from manually entered data, or from vibration temperature type data. If you have that information available to us as an external source, we can ingest and analyze data. So here we have just a simple idea of the indicator and the trend of that indicator mean time between failures, downtime, etc. Okay, so we've got that covered really well. The asset can be obviously stock to stock, and we can manage all of the inventory in relation to your maintenance team's needs. And again, there's a lot in here. Don't know how deep we want to go at this level, but we can create asset reservations, and we can check out assets to have maintenance done on them, and we can see the traceability of anything that's happened on that particular asset with this timeline functionality. And we've got the breakdown of assets per type. Again, this is our built-in analytics. We would have to build these, but they're really like pivot tables in Excel, really straightforward once you know how to use them. And we can have various pie charts, indicator charts, and numeric charts like this number of assets down here. We can have spider diagrams, all sorts of things. We've also got some event history here of what's happened. So we've calibrated this asset a few times back in December 2018, and we can see here the activities, the events that have been executed. We can do inventory management using a mobile application. SoftExpert's fully mobile, and our scanning of the barcode asset, we can check that it's in the right place and it's the right quantity, for example. We have depreciation methods in the solution, so we can depreciate the asset value and then send those values into your financial system for balance sheet reporting on asset value. And we've got costs of your assets, how much you've spent based on the work orders that you've spent, the amount of time you spent rectifying it, parts that you've issued to it, overheads that you've allocated to it, etc. In terms of maintenance planning, again, it's really quite very, very sophisticated, and we have planned orders based upon calendar, meter-based. We can get meter-based hours from your external systems if need be. And we have limit and actions on control variables when something happens. And we can have maintenance activity tasks for each of the maintenance teams, and they can pick up tasks and time-based frequency maintenance based upon the calendar scheduling and assets we talked about earlier. So yeah, full meter-based asset maintenance management. And in here we have application of methods for defining the priority. So we can say whether the actual maintenance here is high urgency or whether it's something that we can live with for a while, because it's not going to affect the performance of the asset or the production line that it's supporting. We've got all the histories and maintenance routes, so we can track maintenance routes by asset, by location, or by user. Activity programming and activity execution. We can schedule asset maintenance. Then we have all of the activities here in my tasks. These can be assigned at a team level. You see these little green icons here. They have multiple people icons. That means it's assigned to a maintenance team. Then that maintenance team member, whoever's next available, would pick up this task and it would be allocated to them. We can also schedule tasks based upon the number of tasks that one person is working on at any one time, and we can do it on a workload type schedule allocation. So again, very powerful maintenance information. We can look at the resources forecast in terms of the technicians and the supply, the tools. We can manage tools, of course, that you need to maintain your equipment, and routes and deadlines for scheduling. Of course, we have this maintenance planning solution that's built in. So for complicated repairs where you need to plan precedents and activities and schedule it amongst different people to put in a new production line or to move a production line from one place to another, we can manage quite complicated schedules, and these all get assigned to people. It goes into their work list, gets prioritized, and then they complete the work and complete the task. So this gets automatically updated, and you can see where the plan is at any one time. And we have portals where we can have task alerts from assets that are vibrating, they're getting too hot, that are getting close to their maintenance date, getting close to their end of warranty date, but they're sitting on a shelf somewhere. All of those sorts of things are possible. Activity execution, we've covered that a little bit. Resource management, here we have a full resource management solution. We can see whether they're allocated, over allocated on tasks, and we can replan their activities or reallocate them to other people that have that capability. We don't talk about the competency management solution. That's also part of SoftExpert. But if you have maintenance, you will have maintenance team members that have unique and specialized skills, and therefore only certain tasks will be able to be done by those types of people, and you can search on competencies within this solution. So you can say, if this task needs these level of competencies, then you only see the people that have that level of competency. But this is not integrated. It is integrated in the system, but in terms of the demo, it just focuses on asset management. So I thought I'd mention the potential for managing competencies as well. Materials management, we have a full supply component, which is part of the maintenance offering. And in here you can see its location of the parts that go into that, and you can determine the storage type, and you can look at the number of maximum capacity, how many, what's the availability of storage left, and so on. And so stock management is well catered for, and we can receive all of the materials as well. So SoftExpert has a fully compliant quality inspection and receipt process component, and yeah, we can do really great things in there and do receipts, and then once we put it away, that can then be the cost of that good, that purchase can be written to the financial system. Okay, so we've got the obviously history of all the material events, and then we have analytics again, similar sort of theme here, but the data is obviously, and the view of the data and how you want to structure the data is different. Calibration management. So we have a full calibration solution, complete configuration of the calibration activity, and in here we can reduce, maintain, or increase the Schumacher frequency here, and we have data based on meter-based calibration frequency. So similar to the asset management solution where you make the planned maintenance order, this is the same thing for your calibration equipment if it's based on number of users or it's based on calendar. We've got due date controls, of course, so we monitor all the due dates and we can manage the due dates. Measurement reading with automatic calculations. Uncertainty, evolution of that calibration, where we have here minimum acceptable, maximum acceptable, and minimum obtained, and the bias and the Aug25. This is not my area of expertise, guys, this particular chart, so hopefully it means more to you than me. But yeah, full calibration management, temperature management, pressure management, humidity management, and we have a calibration certificate and measurement system analysis of the calibrated equipment. All these tasks are in the same sort of veins, work in the same sort of way. You can see here that we have dimensional inspection center as the service center here. The responsible team's the maintenance team, and we're doing some calibration of this S&T Dynamics asset, which is Metrico Calibration Laboratory. Obviously we can send them out for third party calibration checks as well, and do the receipt and all of that on the way back in, and we can check for out of control, and yeah, full calibration management solution. We have a service request process. This can be configured to your own requirements, but here we have a fill request that goes to the service management team. They approve the request, it goes to the resource management team. They validate the information, and then it goes to the supervisor to check the availability of the resource. And we have a full form editor solution as part of our process management solution. You'll be able to use that for maintaining and managing your own unique flows. Relatively straightforward to use and very powerful as well. Control of deadlines for service levels and SLAs. We can define any service request that comes into the maintenance team. We can define an SLA depending upon the severity of that service request, and we can identify any service requests that are exceeding their SLA and track the performance of the maintenance team. And then if there's deviations to that accepted SLA performance, the management team can put steps in place to increase skills in particular areas, because that's a common area that's demanding service requests and we don't have a lot of it, or adding more people if there's not enough people to deal with all the service requests and we've got some big maintenance work coming down the track in our plan. Portals to create a request, to create a new asset, to enter the asset condition, to create a downtime record for production are all feasible and can be run through portals that anyone with access can execute and get things moving. obviously there's email notifications within the solution. Here we have a maintenance request that's come in, and we've got James, in this case, 2B, who's been notified of this request, and therefore he can click on the request from his email and go and see what the issue is and execute it or assign it to somebody else. We obviously can have, not obviously, but we can have execution evaluations built into the process as well. So the service requester gets some work done on their asset, the production manager, for example. The asset gets addressed and the communication is great. The production line's only down for 20 minutes and everything's up and running and done in a safe manner. Then the execution of this evaluation of the service can be sent to the production manager for feedback on improvement in the process. And finally, we've got a failure analysis and continuous FMEA solution. And so failure modes, effects analysis, engineering analysis of what's gone wrong. And we can integrate that into our maintenance solution to identify failure modes, effects, causes, and recommended actions. And so there's a whole component on FMEA, and did many of these when I was a graduate engineer, but haven't done any in recent years. But yeah, it takes me back to my graduate engineering days. We can compare revisions of FMEAs to determine are we getting any better. And this looks like exactly the same one from a scan in terms of the score. And then we have the asset inventory risk plan. Again, we don't need to have a risk plan on our asset inventory, but it's possible to integrate with a click of an associate button the risk management associated with just about anything in SoftExpert. So we can do risk management planning at an asset level, at a production line level, at a employee level. And we have applications of controls and identified risks. So we can identify a risk and then we can define what are the controls that we need to apply there. And in here we can see all of the medium, high and moderate risks that's related to our production line and our asset inventory risk. And we can filter out the low risks so you don't need to see those if that's going to make it easier for you to digest the data. We have non-conformance processing for any assets that are received and do not meet the purchase requirements, or they've been damaged in transit, and this can feed back into the normal non-conformity quality management solution. Of course, we wouldn't create new processes for those if they were already in existence, but we could take that data if there was a third-party non-conformance process, and we could use that in reporting in SoftExpert. But most of our customers use SoftExpert for managing non-conformity and for other things like releasing product, batch release management, integration to third-party product testing companies. All sorts of things can be done. And of course we have built-in fishbone diagrams, Ishikawa diagrams, and root cause analysis, and it's all recorded on the workflow and action plans integrated into that, so we can know that someone's going to do something about the non-conformity or the batch release work. So in a summary, that's the run through of an enterprise asset management. That's a 25-minute run through. Probably spend a lot more time on it if you wanted us to, but it's a very comprehensive, fully integrated solution for managing your identification of your assets, the inventory, parts, spare parts you need to support your production management team, the planning of that asset and the production lines, the resource management of your team, and if you wanted to, we could extend it with the competency component, which is in the enterprise quality management solution. We can do calibration of all your tools via third party, via internal, service requests for your team when they need a chair fixing, say, as well, and failure analysis and science around getting better with what you do. So hopefully that's been a good overview from us, and we hope that this has been helpful, and I look forward to talking to you about it more in the future. Thank you, team. Again, my name is Grant, and I look forward to working with you.